you feeling sad, frustrated, overwhelmed, and stressed out is over with. Why? Because everything has to come to an end. Welcome or welcome back. It's your favorite mental health specialist, Ty Guidance, and that's what we're going to talk about today's video. So disclaimer, there is no right or wrong way to heal yourself. Only and always take what resonates and leave the rest, as well as grabbing your pen and your paper and be prepared to take your notes. That's what we're going to talk about. So before I give you guys the 5 recommendations in order for you to continue to stay yellow and to keep your head up and to stay motivated, you need to realize that nothing in life is going to last forever. Now, of course, spiritually, internally, infinity and beyond in my Buzz Lightyear voice, that's a different topic for a different video. But regardless if you believe in spirituality or religion, there is a due season, there is a due time, there is a divine assignment when it comes to our lives. How do I know? Because people are constantly changing. People pass away every day. People are born every day. A lot of times when we're not taught who we are, when we don't have confidence, when we don't have God, when we don't have the ancestors, when we don't have the universe, when we don't have family and friends and support, at early ages of our life, even in our teenage year or our adult years, a lot of times you can feel confused. A lot of times you can feel naive. A lot of times you may feel like you're lacking. A lot of times you may not be confident, which is okay. And the reason why it's okay is, number one, because you can't invalidate who you used to be and how you feel. And number two, once you realize that is something that you're willing to change and that you're going to outgrow as you experience life, you can move forward and you can start coming up with solutions. But until you realize that, you know what, you have a past, you did grow up a certain type of way, you did feel a certain type of way, you did used to not know certain things, until you are able to accept that version of you, you're constantly going to feel like you're stuck and stagnant. You're constantly going to live in your past. That's why a lot of people have PTSD. A lot of people are holding on to trauma that has already moved forward with. And it's mentally, it's psychologically. And you guys know, because I'm your favorite mental health specialist who is a naturopathic physician, who does understand the mind, who does understand the spirit and the soul. And no shade, no tea. I'm not just here to tell you what you want to hear. Like, this is the truth. You have to realize that the world has a lot of confusion and corruption for some people. But then there's also people who are positive and abundant and blessed, like myself. And as somebody who has always been abundant and blessed, but understands everyone doesn't see what I see or experience what I experience, we're here to inform and educate you. When you watch these videos, you have to be intentional. When you start coming in contact with these videos, when you start that you want to heal yourself, when you decide to change your life, you have to be intentional. That's the only way you're going to be able to change your mindset. A lot of people tell you all the time, all you have to do is visualize, all you have to do is affirm, all you have to do is journal, all you have to do is be. But it's just like, until you realize that, you know what, there's no right or wrong way to grieve, which means it could take days, weeks, months, and years, until you realize that you did grow up in lack, until you realize that you weren't happy, until you realize you're not where you want to be in life. You're constantly going to have these struggles. You're constantly going to hold on to versions of you. Once again, it's not fair for you to beat yourself up when you didn't have the family. It's not fair for you to beat yourself up when you didn't have the friends. It's not fair of you to compare yourself when you don't have the same finances as everybody else. If you know you grew up a certain type of way compared to the people in your family or your what is it called? Your classmates, your schoolmates, the people, your coworkers, why would you sit here and stress yourself out about it? And a lot of times, 99% of the time, if we experience trauma from an early age, it's because of the lack of guidance. It's because we didn't have the caregivers, the parents, whoever raised you, the guardians who were supposed to protect you. Let's talk about it. Over here, we impact and unpack our childhood trauma. We're not here to be afraid to be vulnerable. You have to be vulnerable. You can't be afraid of people judging you, making fun of you. Those people are not important. That's why you need to realize nothing in life is going to last forever. All those miserable people, all the people who didn't want you to do well, they're no longer a part of the picture. This is your new reality. The moment you come in contact with these videos, the moment you start watching these videos all the way to the end, you're giving it a big thumbs up, you're liking it, you're subscribing, you're taking the notes, rather you say it out loud in the comment section, you engage or not, is the moment you realize things have to change. And I'm speaking from experience. You have to learn how to do things for yourself. You have to learn how to believe in yourself before anybody else believes in you. Because at the end of the day, some people will never support you. Some people will never give you the credit. Some people are going to be miserable. Some people are going to do horrible things to you. Some people are not going to care. We don't focus on that. My target audience is not everyone, because everyone really is not about that life. Everyone doesn't want to be that girl. Everyone doesn't want to be that guy. And being that girl, being that guy has nothing to do with your appearance. It's how you operate, it's how you perceive and internalize life. We didn't come here to struggle. Yes, we've gone through trials and tribulations. Yes, we've lost family members. Yes, we had fallout with friends. Yes, we've been betrayed. Yes, we've been fired. Yes, we've been homeless. Yes, we've been touched on. Yes, whatever it was. But it's like, why would you sit here and allow yourself to be beaten up when the external reality, such as sources and entities and organizations and hierarchies, because they do exist, allow you to disturb your peace? Because that's what people want. A lot of people do not want to see you happy, but over here, I will always be happy. I was born happy. You need to realize it. It's our birthright, regardless if we were shown love or not. Regardless if you had support or not, it's going to come a point in your journey where you have to be there for yourself. I watch my videos, I follow my advice, and you feel the energy. That's why me personally, my views don't have to match the likes. I know people watch. Yeah, okay. I don't need people to tell me certain things about myself. Now, of course, if you do have people that love you and appreciate you and support you, a winner is going to give credit. It's not hard to give credit. It's not hard to compliment people. It's not hard to help people, because a lot of times the only people, places, and things who don't want to help you, who don't want to support you, who don't want to see you do well, are people who think you're going to surpass them. But it's just like, we're not even in the same lane. Everyone is in their own lane. There is no competition. So it's just like, you don't need to be so hell-bent on your past that you allow it to cloud your judgment, in your present moment, so you miss out on opportunities. Now, of course, when it comes to healing, you do have to put in the work. Over here, work ethic, immaculate. Shout out to my mama Beyonce, because that's where, obviously I get it from. That's my mom, if you guys didn't know. But it's just like, work ethic speaks for itself. Now, I'm not saying that you have to work hard in life, but you do have to put in the work. You do have to take the time to isolate. You do have to be able to sit with yourself. You do have to be able to be vulnerable. You do have to be able to talk to a therapist. You do have to be able to talk to a psychiatrist. You do have to be able to book a service and a session with me, your favorite mental health specialist, who's an naturopathic physician. You do have to seek some type of assistance if you can't sit with yourself. If you're not going to go to God, ancestors in the universe. Because at the end of the day, God, ancestors in the universe is using me to get to you. Now, if you want to be disobedient, if you don't want to receive the messages, a hard head makes a soft behind, and that's what's going to happen. You shouldn't have to go through so many trials and tribulations that you end up suffering, and that you end up crashing out, taking yourself out or other people, and ended up with severe consequences. Because a lot of times, a lot of people are not built for that life. A lot of people do all this yapping. You're not built for the consequences. And it's like, once again, why would you want to lose your mind, your job, what you work towards, your health, for people, places, and things? It happens all the time. It happens all the time. There's a lot of dysfunction and confusion and corruption and pew, 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 pew. I'm not going to say it, but like, people intentionally go out their way to hurt and harm people. And it only takes a matter of seconds for you to not be here anymore. Like, I just recently was on TikTok, and this young man was talking about how back in the day, people were excited to do certain things. People were happy. And it's just like, yes, there's a lot going on in the world, but it's like, create your own reality. So the first thing you have to do in order for you to realize that nothing in life lasts forever is to learn to go through your isolation period. Stop trying to avoid it. Speaking from experience, the longer you try to avoid the process and the discomfort, the longer you're going to deal with suffering. And speaking from experience, when certain people, places, jobs, materials, family, friends are being removed out of your life, you have to let them go. Real time in real life. Story time, like I said, you guys are going to get to know more and more about me as time goes by. But I lost my dad almost 8 years ago. It took me 8 years this year to really be okay and move forward with it. Like I said, losing people that you genuinely love, regardless of the relationship, takes time. And I tell you guys all the time, there is no right or wrong way, but it's like, I did the work. Yes, I was sad. Yes, I was heartbroken. Like I said, I'll get into details when the time is ready. But I realized that if I really love my dad just as much as my dad loves me, I still have to move my life. I still have to move on. I didn't have to die just because he died. And like I said, it's a lot that we go through. It's a lot of things that I went through. But at the end of the day, because I care about myself, I love myself, which is going to be the second thing, I refuse to be unhappy. I wasn't born unhappy. And a lot of times the people and the places and things that went out their way to do what they did, that didn't matter to me. I care more about my financially stability than the people and the places and things that I lost. Why? Because I could control my time. I could always get a car. I could always get a house. That's, you know, like I said, if you're willing to work. Now, if you're not willing to work, if you're not willing to sit in isolation, if you're not willing to grieve, like I said, if you're not, then don't. This channel is not for you. I'm not for you. Go about your business. I'm a grown lady. I'm your rich auntie in real life. For those of you who know, I'm your favorite mental health specialist, but I'm really a rich auntie, Ty Guidance. Ty Guidance, who is Ty Guidance? This is one of many YouTube channels that I have. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a businesswoman. That's what I'm about when it comes to mental health and healing. We are about our business. We do the work. You have to be able to sit with yourself. You have to be angry. You have to be mad. You have to be frustrated. You have to take years, months, days, and weeks. Like I said, it just depends on all the time, energy. And also, too, if you don't have the family, if you don't have the support, you don't have to rush. I don't feel bad that it took me 8 years to fully accept something when I had to grieve alone. That's why I created this channel. Like I said, this is my second YouTube channel. I started this business in like 2017, but I started my first YouTube channel in 2019, and it's still on YouTube, guys, to this day. I was 22 years old when I first started my YouTube. But enough about me. I'm just giving you guys insights because you need to understand I've gone through it. That's why I make these videos. I'm not just talking for my health. Now, there are a lot of people in this world who say whatever and they don't. Anyways, we're not going to worry about them because, like I said, time tells, and that's what you have to realize. This is a season. This is a chapter. So it's like, if you can go through this uncomfortable season in your life right now, and it may, like I said, take 8 years, 16, 20 years, as long as you can go through it, when it's time for you to move forward, you're going to move, because we're not going to live forever. And because you don't always have control over your life, if you believe in God, answers in the universe, trying to go against God, trying to go against your ancestors, trying to go against the universe, that's when a lot of people get sat down. It's not the people and the places and things that sat me down. It was the Most High. It was the divine femme. It was my ancestors. Because it's just like, sometimes when you're not walking in purpose, when you're not where you need to be, certain things are going to happen. And I know that for myself. I know why I went through the things I did. Now, if you don't know why you're going through the things you are, this is the reason why you need to sit down. You need to figure out, who am I? What's going on? How is this making me feel? Like I said, when you don't come from that, it's a lot of work. Everybody wants to be a leader and a boss, and it's just like, people don't realize you actually got to step. You actually got to get in the field. It's not arrogance. I'm not conceited. It's not about being condescending. It's not about being cocky. Trust and believe. Everybody has an ego, but if I was to be my ego, it wouldn't even be a conversation. When people come into your life and they're informing and educating you, learn to listen. A lot of times people want to judge the messenger and, why is it her? Why is it? Because what is your spirit like? What is your heart posture like? You can't forgive yourself. You can't forgive other people. How do you think you're going to be able to move forward in life? You have to sit with yourself. Like I said, you really have to figure out who you are. But you see, I've always known who I was. So like I said, that was never my issue. And that's another reason why the second thing, when you learn to love yourself, you don't need to be out here comparing yourself. And the people who compare themselves to me, y'all need to be worried about yourselves. Comparing yourself to people who you've never met or you're never going to meet and you never could be like is delusional. Y'all love to be like, just be delusional. No. Delusion is when you believe in things that are false and that are not happening or real. Look up the word delusion. I promise you, you wouldn't want to be delusional. But people who compare themselves and sabotage people, y'all are delusional. Y'all need help. Those are the people who really need mental health, not the people who are angry and frustrated because they never were taught how to deal with their emotions or to cope. Not the people that were bullied, not the people that were made fun of, not the people who were touched on, not the people who grew up in poverty. That's not your fault, because physically none of us asked to be born. Like I said, spiritually, psychologically, if you're really tapped in, you know. But to keep it cute, we didn't get to pick our reality physically, because it's just like, if you do know, you know, okay, all that is old. Learn to sit with yourself. Learn to build a relationship with yourself. Before you fix your face and say why you don't have certain things, sit with yourself. So your homework assignment, your challenge, because that's what we're about to be doing for the rest of 2025, these homework assignments. If you're new here, we give out homework assignments. When you watch these videos, not only, like I said, you need to have your pen and your paper and be prepared to take notes, you need to apply this information. I'm not speaking for my health. You shouldn't just be on YouTube just to be on YouTube. Now, there is a time and a place to be serious. There's a time and a place where you go to school. There's a time and a place where you have fun. Because the best believe, like I said, you're going to see, you if you haven't seen me already, I have other social medias. I'm on social media. I am your favorite rich auntie. I do more things than just mental health, but specifically, if you meet me here, you meet me here. If you meet me there, you meet me there. It is important, like I said, to have balance, because it's just like, we don't need to be stressed out and overwhelmed all day, every day. Like, realizing what you have control over and realizing that you don't is really important. And in your homework assignments, we're going to be giving out assignments. And that's what I meant to say before I got sidetracked. So I'm going to plug in the 30-day consistency challenge. It'll be in the description down below. It'll be somewhere here on the screen. Watch it. Take the notes. Apply it. Moving forward, like I said, once we reach 500 followers, we're doing these healing. We're doing the healing playlist. Everything that's on my website, because like I said, I run a real business in real life, okay? I don't just talk just to sound any old type of way. All the information I'm going to put on YouTube for free. Because like I said, money is money. Support is support. It's not that hard. But it's like, until you figure out who you are, until you really learn how to love yourself, despite of what you have and what you don't have, despite of how you were raised, despite about what you saw, you're not going to be able to realize that I don't need to be sad my entire life. And it's just like, talk about it. You can't be afraid to talk about the people and the places and things who hurt and harm you. You're not bitter. You're not angry. I'm not frustrated. You don't get to silence me. Like, people don't get to have control of you. I've never, like I said, if my mom and dad couldn't control me, why do you think you would be able to tell me what I'm supposed to do? And that's the same thing with me. Only take what resonates. You guys are not always going to agree with me. I'm not always going to agree with you. Take what you need to take. Egotistical, arrogant, prideful, and ignorant people are the only people who stunt their growth because they can't be corrected or they can't listen to what somebody's telling you. If you added 1 + 1 to get 2, you will realize, okay, Ty Guidance is telling me this information because it's going to better me, etc., etc. Now, if you don't like what's being said, you don't have to listen. But a lot of times, it's not even about how certain things are being said or who's saying it, but it's the principle, what is being said. Now, if somebody's saying something, if I'm saying something that doesn't make sense to you, or then don't agree with it. But that back and forth, we don't do that. And that's the same thing with you. Stop going back and forth with people, places, things. What you said, mean what you say, and stand on it. Who cares? They're not your target audience. They're not your people. People who genuinely want you to do well are going to let you know you don't have to dwell. I'm letting you know you don't have to. I'm your auntie before I'm your friend. Okay? A real rich, like I said, real rich auntie. Y'all don't know me. I don't know y'all. Real rich aunties, they don't make a lot of them. As I sip my ginger ale, all tea, all shade. I'm one of those type of aunties. Like, I'm not just, oh, let me tell you what you want to hear. No. I'm telling you the truth, and that's the thing. If you don't like being told the truth, you're the only person who's going to be bothered. The truth is the truth. And you have to realize that. You have to be able to speak your truth in order for you to realize, you know what? I'm not stuck. I'm not stagnant. Regardless of what people have said, regardless of what people have done, you can move forward. And I want you to answer the question with that in the comment section. And I'm going to end off the video with that. Why do you feel like you're stuck and stagnant? Why do you feel like you can't move forward? I want you to sit with yourself. That's your homework assignment. Once you can figure out why you feel stuck, once you feel like why you feel stagnant, then we can come up with solutions. Then we can take the time to do what we need to do. And that's why I tell you guys, watch the 30-day consistency challenge as well as staying tuned for the mental health playlist challenge, because I'm giving you guys this all step-by-step how to do it, when to do it, and why to do it, because you do need intentions. You need direction. But you're not going to get direction from God, ancestors, the universe, or yourself until you realize where you're going and where you've been. But nothing in life is going to last forever. You could have your moment to be sad. You could be frustrated. Like I said, I've talked about being in a car accident. I've talked about losing my dad. I've talked about betrayal. Some of it, like just surface level. I've talked about being fired. Like I said, when I was 20 years old and I got fired, oh my God, I don't have no money. If you're a boss, you can make some money. Now, how long it takes to get that money back, that's on you. And there's no rush. You don't have to rush your life, because once again, your life is for you. Now, this doesn't mean that discipline and rules and society is not necessary, because I'm not going against it, but it's just like, take what resonates and leave the rest. If what somebody says when it comes to society, family, and friends doesn't resonate with who you want to be, don't do it. Because over here, we are authentic. We do have individuality. It's nothing wrong with being inspired. It's nothing wrong with admiring people, but it's just like, have a mind of your own. When you learn to have a mind of your own, you take back your power. You realize, I'm not stuck. I'm not stagnant. I'm not going to be here forever. So I'm not about to be stressed out about it. So when you see this too, say that and put it in the comment section if this video resonates with you. I'm not about to be stressed out, and own it. Say it over and over and over again. And of course, take the time to sit with yourself. Take the time to love yourself. Take the time to grieve. And most importantly, vocalize what's wrong. Vocalize what's wrong. That's the best thing you can do if you're really stressed out. Talk about how you feel. Ooh, you guys, I got all this ice. Talk about how you feel. If you really feel sad, you really feel depressed, you really feel like taking yourself out, talk about it. Rather you talk to yourself, like I said, a therapist, mental health specialist, guidance counselor, God, ancestors, universe. Because if you say you believe in God, ancestors, universe, those are the people you need to be having conversations with. And I'm going to say it. Because that, like I said, people love to, okay, let your energy speak for you. And the same thing goes with me. That's why I make these videos. And it's like, learn to pay attention to what people are saying. Stop trying to be like, well, who are they? What credentials? That's not important. And that's how you know, like, you, even if you try to humble people, you're not even on their level. You feel me? So it's just like, stop comparing yourself. Stop stressing yourself out. Realize what you've gone through. Internalize how you feel. Because it's one thing to understand what has happened to you, but it's another thing to process it. People don't take the time to process it. People are so quick to move on and not take the time to feel uncomfortable, to not be in that season of uncomfort. And I'm telling you from experience, you have to sit with it. Especially, like I said, if you say you proclaim to be a certain type of way. Like, I had to be in a certain season of my life. Did I want to be there? I had to be there. It wasn't an option. And that's T. Like I said, if you really claim to be a certain type of way, you don't have a choice. I don't have a choice. And what I mean by that is, when you want certain things in life, when you're actually going to get somewhere in life, you can't skip the process. You can't cut the line. You have to go through your season of wilderness. You, like I said, you have to lose a lot because you're unlearning and learning as you go. And honestly, if you really know, that could change. At any moment in your life, things could switch up. The goal is to learn to not be attached and let go of your attachment issues. That's what we do over here. We let go of our attachment issues. We have individuality. We love ourselves. We love others. We're respectful. We're kind. We're nice because people love to not be nice. Stay away from me. If you don't want to be respectful, if you don't want to be loving, you don't want to be nice, if I can't feel safe, if you can't feel safe and seen, you don't need to be around these people. Is everyone like me? HE double hockey sticks, no. Is everyone like you? No. That's why it's like, we build this community over here over authenticity. Those who get it, get it. Those who don't, well, we're not about to be stressed out. What do we look like being stressed out about people who don't like themselves? Because a lot of people are miserable. Well, I'm 28 years old. These are my last couple of years being in my 20s. Auntie is really an auntie. Like, what do I look like being stressed out over people who don't love themselves? My sad, your sad is not the same. What do you look like logically worrying about certain things that people did to you when if they didn't care then, they're not going to care now. And if they did, me personally, like, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. And it's just like, a lot of times you feel uncomfortable because you're meant to do certain things. You're avoiding the situation because it needs to be done. If you want to lose weight and you grew up obese or you were never taught how to take care of yourself, you got to go through the times where you're going to the gym and working out and you feel tired. If you want to get your degree, you have to study. Like, it's a lot that comes with it. You want to be an entrepreneur, you may not be getting paid the first 1 year, 5 years, 10 years of your business. You want to be a content creator, but you want results. So it's just like, what do you want to do? Do you want to be the best version of yourself, or do you want to stay where you are? Because I'm not staying with you. And if you cared about me as much as I cared about you, if you love me the way you love me, we got to be in a relationship together. It's not just going to be one-sided. I'm not just giving to people and not receiving. Same thing when it comes with you. When it comes to relationships, moving forward, like I said, when you watch these videos, it should be intentional. So you have the chance to continue to keep watching, or you're not. when you're in relationships with people, places, and things, and they want to be in a relationship with you, it needs to be mutual. So if you're pouring into them, they need to pour into you. Now, of course, is it going to be exactly the same way? That depends on your standards and what you want. But a lot of times, because most people are not you, you have to be willing to meet people where they are. And if you're not, then don't. Then don't. But we're not going to be stressed. It's a new month. It's halfway through the year. Time is going to go by. Time is going to go by. So it's like, have your season where you're sad. Have your season when you're angry. Like I said, it's a lot of story times that we're going to be talking about as time moves forward. But it's just like, from experience, letting go is the best thing that you can do. Because once you let go of who you used to be and how you used to feel, and you rebuild and you take your time to figure out who you are and you continue to love yourself properly, you're not going to continue to make the same choices that you made from your past, and you're not going to deal with the same people. And if people do try to come into your life, because there are some crazy people in this world, there are some weird people in this world, you know what to look forward for. So thank you guys for watching all the way to the end. You guys, I'm very excited. I'm very passionate. Like I said, it's a lot that we could sip in tea and talk about. Let me know what you learned about this video. Let me know what type of topics you guys are interested in moving forward, as well as if you guys are ready for the new playlist. Like I said, I wanted to wait till we reach 500, but if you guys are ready now, let me know in the comment section down below. Don't be afraid to engage and be vulnerable. And it's like, pick a side. I'm one of those type of people, you're gonna have to pick a side in order to be here. If not, you can follow me on other social media platforms. I am not gonna be talking about mental health on all my other platforms, because like I said, I do have multiple businesses. I do talk about it overall. I'm a person, but over here specifically, this is an educational content. This is educational. Is it entertaining? Once we get on the same page, yes. But until then, yes, it is very much so healing and dealing with emotions and being confident and, being triggered and challenged, but in a positive way. We're transmuting negative energy into positive energy. Follow me on all social media platforms. Thank you for giving this video a big thumbs up. Thank you for liking it. Thank you for commenting and subscribing. Thank you for letting me know. Thank you for booking your service and your sessions. When you're booking your service and your session, make sure you read the policies so you're not confused, as well as your availability in your email so you know what time and etc. Read the description before you book your service so there's no confusion. And if not, just DM me on Instagram with any questions and topics that you didn't put in the comment section. But when you guys come back, we're going to be checking on your homework assignments. And once again, if you're new here, we have homework assignments. If you're really OG, we have homework assignments. You guys have challenges. So the same way you guys watch other YouTube videos and they're entertaining and you're just watching, we're going to learn and we're going to try to make them fun. So it's just like, this is for you. It's not for me. Okay? You said that you want to be better. You said that you were stressed out. You can't afford a therapist. You don't have any friends, family support. You don't have no more excuses. It's no more excuses. Same with me. Same with you. I love you. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you guys want to talk about. Until next time. Peace.